Citi Ministries Incorporated presents Part 3, Benefits and Blessings of Married Catholic Priests. Every year, Citi married Catholic priests celebrate thousands of weddings, baptisms, and masses. Married Catholic priest Father John Schuster.
Being a good priest involves a lot of challenges. It takes a lot of emotional and physical energy out of you. And to be well prepared to serve people as a priest, you need to have a good, solid, stable lifestyle. You need to have people who love and support you. And you need intimacy in your life. I believe we need food, clothing, shelter, and intimacy. And the best and the traditional way to do that is to be married.
In the last 50 years, over 125,000 Roman Catholic priests have left their clerical positions, mainly to marry. This is in spite of the fact that around the world there's a severe shortage of Catholic priests. Over 50,000 churches and 100,000 missions currently have no priest. In 1992, Louise Haggett, a Catholic lay woman, sought a way to recover the lost ministry of married priests when she could not find a priest to visit her dying mother.
Mom was in an assisted living facility, and I was trying to find a priest to visit her because she was very Catholic, and couldn't find one, and that's when I discovered there was a shortage of priests. She eventually saw someone, but was comatose in the hospital by the time we found a priest to visit her. I became curious about mandatory celibacy, the shortage of priests, went to the library, and then found that there were about 30,000 priests who had left to marry in the United States, and canon laws that validated the sacramental ministry. So I set about to find them and put them back into ministry. Through networking, I discovered Corpus. I was invited to their conference in June 1992. There was one with a canon lawyer, and I just found it so interesting that some of these guys would ask questions like, I haven't celebrated Mass in my living room with my family for 10 years. Do you think maybe I can do that? You know, they had been so suppressed by the institution that I just found it so amazing that they were still feeling that way after 10 years.
I have always loved being a Catholic priest. At the same time, the years that I was living as a celibate priest, I was feeling more and more an emptiness in myself that was crying to be answered. And since Jean and I have gotten married, I feel more whole than I've ever felt. I'm sort of trying to listen to the way God's Spirit is calling me or calling us to minister now, not waiting for the day when the Church formally has a married priesthood.
When a priest leaves clerical ministry, what he loses is that legal licensing. He's still a priest, will be a priest forever. But what he loses is the ability to legally marry couples. So through the International Council of Community Churches, we're able to provide that endorsement, that ecclesiastical endorsement that is missing from his new ministry.
The current priesthood in the institutional church can tend not to reflect that Trinitarian relationship. Marriage in our society and in our culture has a better chance of reflecting that relationship that exists within God. And to a certain degree, a good, wholesome marriage is the beginning of understanding what Trinity is all about in relationship.
If you read Paul's second letter to Timothy, where he describes the qualities of a good bishop, you can come out of that saying that marriage is a prerequisite for priesthood, because it not only gives the priest a solid basis to live and rejuvenate and get ready for the next day of ministerial work, but it also puts the priest right into the fabric of everyday life. He has the ability to know what it is to raise children, to be a husband, to be a father. And that deepens one's spirituality, and when that happens, the priest is only a better priest because of that.
A very fundamental thing, for me, it's a three-letter word, is NAG, which keeps me healthy. You take this pill, you may take your pills this morning, or else you're going to be dead, you know, and that's,
Okay.
and I'd be dead, you know, because I had
No.
bypass, and
Really?
I would be dead, you know, in a real sense of the word.
I believe that the statistic was something like 90 to 94% of the priests had still been married after 25 years.
To the same person.
To the same person, exactly. And if you compare that to the general public, which has a 50 or plus divorce rate right now,
More than that.
I think that there is a tremendous value of having married priests in the parishes with their families, because I think there's a lot they can teach the American people and people everywhere about marriage. Because they stay married.
I've had people ask me, what has been your most intense experience of the love of God? And my response has always been, I experience God's love every day through the loving eyes of my wife. And when you think about our theological and our sacramental life, it's very much centered on Eucharist. And Eucharist is communion, it's bringing people together. We do that sort of like standardly through creating community, where you get to know people, you get to like them, trust them. There's a mutuality of help that's involved and support. And within that community, you may find someone who you really come to feel is special in your life. It's someone that you come to love. And that's the real strength of marriage, where you find that someone special among a group of friends, family, church people, and you know that no matter where you are in the world, that person is thinking of you, and you can go through life and anything can happen, and that person will always be with you to love you and support you. I really like the theological work that's being done by Margaret Starbird and others describing marriage as a partnership where two equals come together and they find love and meaning and substance to life. So a lot of the traditional or some of the more barbaric forms of marriage kind of melt away in that understanding where when two people come together in love, they commit themselves to each other, you have the true and pure spark of the divine there. Kind of make a good homily, wouldn't it?
Married Catholic priests were the original tradition in the Roman Catholic Church. The Apostle Peter was married, and so were the popes, bishops, and priests for 1,000 years after Christ. There's a growing gap today between the number of Catholics and numbers of priests. As the number of Catholics continues to rise, the number of priests continues to decline. Now is the time to recover the lost ministry of married Catholic priests. For more information, please contact www.rentapriest.com or 1-800-PRIEST9.